Alright, just saw another movie. Saw with my buddy, and that's Insidious The Last Key. This is definitely going to be a shorter review. Oof, this movie was bad. And, I don't want to put the film, down, because, people work hard on this shit. Like, probably 2 years it took people to make this film. The director took a lot of time to make this, or actors worked hard, but it was bad. It was bad. And I don't even think it was the director's fault. And I have IMDb pulled up right now. So, it's easier for me to remember some of these, names and stuff. But the director, Adam Robitel, he has only directed 6 other films, and they all were horror films. I haven't seen any of them. They're all very low budget, obscure horror films. But I really don't think he was the problem. I feel like the script was the problem, and the actors did the best they possibly could. They actually had a couple of good actors in there. Kurt Acevedo, who was the asshole guy in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, who's like, I'm the asshole. He's in this movie, and he was a big standout for me. And Patrick Wilson also has a small cameo near the end. It's only like 10 seconds long, but I was excited to see Patrick Wilson again. But me and my friend went to go see this movie because we're big Insidious fans. And we enjoyed the first 3 chapters, because that's how they've been titling them: Insidious, and Insidious Chapter 2, and Insidious Chapter 3. And then this one's called Insidious The Last Key. I need to stress to everybody right now, this is not Insidious 4. If you're walking into this movie thinking it's Insidious 4, it's not. This is a spin-off of the old lady character that sees ghosts and stuff. I think her name is well, actually I have the cast right here. Elise Rayner, that character. The one who has the special powers and can see ghosts and shit. This whole movie's about her. It's about her backstory, how she got abused by her father and everything for having these powers and stuff. The movie itself was short. It felt short, and it didn't feel like it was completely thought through with the script. Like, if you were expecting to see the lady in the black wedding dress in this movie, that's in every Insidious movie that this old lady's in, this old Elise character is in, you're not gonna get that. The black wedding dress creature or demon is not in this movie at all. And personally, that's what I was expecting to see. But I don't think my expectations were the reason the film was bad. Because I was open to anything. I thought the humor in the movie was funny. There's this character Tucker. He's hysterical. There's this scene where they're about to crawl through a tube, and the old lady, Elise, she's about to crawl through it, and he and he goes, stand back, like he's about to go crawl through it, but he just grabs the flashlight and he goes, here you go. And then he stands back and lets her crawl through it. It was funny as fuck. There was some good funny moments with his character. He and the other guy that worked for her, they were the 2 main comedic relief characters of the movie. And they have this story arc with falling in love with these 2 young girls, and it's kind of forced, and it kind of doesn't make any sense. And by the end of the film, they're kissing on these really young girls, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's kind of creepy. But, that's not my main problem with the movie. My main problem is the Elise character. The actress playing her, Lin Shaye, she is not a strong enough actress to carry a movie by herself. She was very wooden, very stiff on a lot of line deliveries. I mean, I could tell. There's a scene where she meets her brother for the first time. She's like, oh, my brother, it's been so long since I've seen you. And, she has no emotion in her voice. It's almost like a Star Wars prequel thing, or Hayden Christensen thing. She is so wooden. She's so unemotive that, every line comes off as disingenuous, I guess you could say. But, this is the thing. In the other Insidious movies, her character is like that, she has a weird speech pattern. She's kind of odd, but that's because she sees ghosts and she has these special powers, so you kind of can understand why she's like that. But that's why she's only in those Insidious movies for a few short scenes. She's not the main focus of the movie. This movie, she is the main focus. She's practically in every scene. I would only recommend seeing this movie if you're a big fan of the Insidious franchise and you want to see some more backstory on this specific Elise character. because this pretty much has nothing to do with any other Insidious film. There is a small cameo from Patrick Wilson, and by small cameo, they just show a clip from the first Insidious movie. They actually show a couple clips from the first Insidious movie. So they're trying to like feed off like nostalgia of that movie. And, I don't blame the director, dude. He tried his damnedest to make this movie good. I really felt that. But I just felt like the script was lousy, and their main lead, the main character of the movie, was acted very poorly, and it just took me out of the film completely. The surrounding cast was phenomenal, though. I think everybody that was surrounding her did a great job. Even the young kids, because they do flashbacks, so you see young kids, you see the young version of Elise and stuff, and I thought those kids did a great job. The guy who played her father did a great job. The two people that were working for her did a great job. But like the actual main character herself was just horrendous. Horrendous. I don't think making fun of a movie that is already down, like this movie already has a horrible score on like Rotten Tomatoes. It already has a bunch of people hating on it. So I don't believe in kicking a film while it's down. I don't believe in making more negative statements to throw on top of it just to like, be funny and stuff, which could be like really easy, right? But at that point it just becomes heckling. It's not criticism, it's not like, critiquing the film or anything. It's just heckling. You're just being an asshole. And that's what most critics are now. They're just hecklers. But personally, I think the director did the best he possibly could. I feel like the weakest part of the film was the main character, Lin Shaye, and I'm not putting her down at all, but maybe it was partly the director's fault. Maybe he wasn't giving her enough direction or anything. But I do not suggest people see this in theaters. If you're a huge fan of the Insidious franchise, wait for Redbox or just wait to rent it on demand and stuff like that. This is only worth like one viewing if you're like a huge fan of the franchise, because it technically has nothing to do with the other Insidious movies, and it's a shorter movie, and it's not Insidious 4. I mean, if you type in Insidious 4 on Google, this is the first thing that pops up, but it's not. It is not a sequel to Insidious Chapter 3. They are going to be making Insidious Chapter 4 at some point, because that's what the end of this movie kind of sets up, is a Chapter 4 type thing. So, yeah, only watch it if you're a huge fan of Insidious, which me and my buddy are, so we recognized it for, like, being a not-so-great film, but we still like the universe still. The director had a different style, though, so the aesthetic doesn't quite match as the other Insidious films, but, I don't mind that if a director brings his own take onto a film franchise, especially if it's not a direct sequel. I knew this film wasn't going to be as good as the first 3 chapters because James Wan isn't involved in this film at all. I love what James Wan has done with horror films. I love the Conjuring movies. I love the Insidious films. And he is kind of the brainchild behind them. So I love him for that. So, I really appreciate his work. I'm so excited for Aquaman and everything. But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing missing. I don't even think James Wan could have really helped the film, honestly. But it would have been nice to still have his film style. Maybe that would help, but now that I think about it, it probably wouldn't have helped at all because the script was just not good. Not good. I kind of am a little perplexed why they made this film. But then I look at the budget of the film. Guess how much the budget of this film was? $10 million. That's it. Really cheap film. Super cheap film. And guess how much it made opening weekend? $20 million. So it's already in the green. It's already making profit. Every day it's in theaters now and people are seeing it, it's making profit. So that's why they keep making these horror films. They're cheap to make and you could turn a profit real quick. And it's really helped studios like Blumhouse, who does a bunch of horror movies. It's really helped them rise, in quality because, the more money they make, that means the more money they can invest in other franchises. Not every single Blumhouse film is amazing. Most of them aren't that good, really. And most of them aren't worth watching more than once. But if you're a big horror fan, you're a big Insidious fan, yeah, you're probably going to enjoy The Last Key. There's only 4 scares in the movie. There's only 4 scares. There's one at the very beginning. There's one from the trailers that you see in the trailers where she's reaching out towards a ghost. And they're it's right in front of you, that type of thing. That's the only other scare. And then there's 2 more after that, and that's it. Probably the least scary Insidious movie. by far. So for me, if I was to give it like a star rating, I would give it a 2 out of 5 stars. Because compared to the rest of the Insidious franchise, this does not live up. It is a spin-off film, so that, there is that. But this does not live up to the other films. And like the first Insidious movie, I would give like a 5 star. Like as a horror film, like that's a 5-star movie. Insidious Chapter 2, I would give a 4 star. And Insidious Chapter 3, I would give a 4 star too, because I enjoyed both those films. A lot of people didn't like Insidious 3, but I liked it. I thought it was scary. I thought the storyline made sense, I thought the actors did a good job. What more could you really want out of a horror film, So as a horror film, this is like a 2 out of 5 stars. It's not worth watching more than once. Only watch it if you're a big fan of Insidious. Alright, that's it for now. I'm probably going to see more movies next week. Take a little break from it for now, but yeah. What y'all think? Did anyone see this movie? I would suggest not seeing it until you can rent it, right? So yeah, that's it for now. Bye-bye.